They were a poor couple beset with problems. The husband was a hardened alcoholic. The wife was a simple, illiterate woman, but they wanted to adopt a heavily disabled child who was born without any arms. The judge ignored the many reasons against this adoption when he saw the goodness, generosity, and courage of this poor couple. He couldn't say no. They loved the child, brought him up as best as they could. The mother knew what it takes to raise a child. As soon as the child took his first steps, she would put him on his little stool and deliberately make him fall from it. The child would end up hurt, crying, sprawled on the floor. But his mom would tell him, "My son, you have to learn how to fall without hurting yourself. Otherwise, how are you going to survive?" When the boy was about 5 or 6, he would go next to his mom in the kitchen and tell her, "Mommy, when my arms will grow out of my shoulders, I will wash the plates for you and help you to dry them." Even while the heart of the poor mother missed a beat, in a strong voice she would turn to the child and tell him the truth. "No, my darling, your arms will never grow. You have to learn how to do everything without them." Our God is just like this mother. We think of God as a loving, merciful Father, and we are right. But today's gospel shocks us with its seeming harshness. Strive to enter through the narrow gate, for many, I tell you, will attempt to enter but will not be strong enough. After the master of the house has arisen and locked the door, you will stand outside knocking and saying, "Lord, open the door for us." And he will say to you in reply, "I do not know where you are from." And you will reply, "We ate, we drank in your company, you taught in our streets." Then he will say to you, "I do not know where you are from. Depart from me, all you evildoers." How hard it is for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven, said Jesus on another occasion. Jesus does not, and he will not promise us heaven on earth. He loves us too much, like that poor mother. He loves us too much to sweeten, or even worse, to change the bitter, life-giving pill into a sweet but deadly poison. Jesus will never feed us with lies, half-truths, just to win us over. We call it tough love. And tough love is an uncompromising commitment to the hard and the painful but life-giving truths. No, our arms will never grow out of our shoulders. Our disabilities, our limitations, our weaknesses will not disappear just because we hide them behind glittering facades, hollow luxuries, excessive makeup, deceitful laws, crafty travesties of justice. We cannot seek refuge from life in a make-believe, airy-fairy escape into fantasy. Life is not and will never be easy. Having an expensive, impressive wedding party will never replace the day-to-day self-sacrifice and unconditional self-giving. That is the only way to a happy, loving, and faithful marriage. Covering our churches with gold, impressive decorations, celebrating our beloved village patron saint with firecrackers, expensive celebrations, partying may seem exciting. But are they the best way to remember how our saints have paid for their beliefs and the love of God and their neighbors with their sweat, self-sacrifice, and the suffering of martyrdom? Jesus was not some power-thirsty politician who promises comfort, pleasure, money, heaven on earth to his gullible voters for the sake of his own self-advancement. Jesus offers us only the hard truth, but that truth would make us truly free, truly at peace. He came to bring us the real and lasting life rather than the easy, pleasurable, but meaningless life. He did not heal and feed people to please them so that he will increase his popularity. What he offered to them was not just miraculous bread to fill their stomachs. He offered them his own flesh and blood that gives life to their soul. He paid the full price for loving and committing himself to us on the cross, so that we may have real life and have it in abundance. The narrow gate he speaks of is the full price of real love. Only those who are ready to squeeze all selfishness and pride out of their sinful hearts can pass through that gate. But he could not preach this hard and painful truth without squeezing the last drop of blood from his own body to open our way to the kingdom of peace, love, and a real, everlasting life. Today, he is inviting you and me to follow him by choosing love rather than hate, self-giving rather than self-seeking, living for others rather than exploiting the others, being the last rather than being the first, dying to ourselves to be born for our brothers, for our sisters. If and when we accept this challenge, then beyond all the tight squeezing and painful sacrifice of self that is needed to pass through the narrow gate, we will discover the enchanting joy and freedom of who we really are, God's own sons and daughters. We will finally taste the real freedom we are so thirsty for, the freedom we have been created for, the freedom of being children of God. Let us gladly, joyfully allow God to disturb our false comforts, and like that loving mother, make us fall from the high chair of our illusions, our false dreams. No, it is useless to wait for our arms to sprout from our shoulders. We need to accept and embrace our smallness, our disabling woundedness, our weakness, whilst believing in our inner strength, inner greatness and beauty. Let us live all the challenges and trials of life, not as something to avoid or cover up, but as our greatest opportunities to discover and grow in the divine beauty we have been created for. All our painful falls, our bitter hurdles will pale into insignificance once we will have passed through that narrow gate of self-sacrificing real love. This narrow gate is the only gate that ushers us into a kingdom of joy, unity, peace with God and with our fellow human beings, as well as with Mother Nature. As Mother Teresa used to say, real love is to love until it hurts. God bless you and thank you.